What's up, people? Do. How you guys doing? All right, so as you guys know, last week we worked on Math Models Worksheet 4.1, Relations and Functions. And all I asked you guys to do is to determine whether the coordinates, okay, the dots, and the graphs are functions. And remember, in order to determine a function, you got to look at the x coordinate, all right? Not the y, the x, and it only has to occur once. But if it's a repeat, then it's no function. Like the first one, 1 and 1 is a repeat, so it's not a function, all right? So basically, hopefully you guys did that. I'll put up the answers so you could check them out, all right? And then here, the same thing, you know. Here we got, you could do a vertical tester, and the vertical test is if you draw a line vertically and there's only one dot, then it's a function. But if there's two dots vertically, then it's not a function. Why is that? Because this dot is -2 comma -4, and this one you're using -2 comma -4, so you used x twice, so that's why. It's cool. All right, so we got some doors today. Some doors. Bam. Ba da ba da ba. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. It's all about relation. Let's talk about relation. All right. Come on, let's go. So this is what's going to happen here. All right, we're talking about now a relation. There's going to be a question that's going to indicate what's the relation. Determine if the following relations are function. And a relation is basically a set of ordered pairs, your x, y. So whatever you have is just your x, y. That's it. It's like a relationship, right? It's two individuals, right? It's like the same thing. This is a relationship because it's in parentheses, the x and the y. Together, it makes a what? A point in a graph, right? A point in a graph, okay? So for the most part, now they're going to ask you for the domain, okay? The domain, and what is the domain? So if you ever saw the movie Stand and Deliver, the domain, this is my domain. This is my area, okay? So in math, a domain is the set of all x coordinates for the ordered pairs. So only the x. So like right here, you have x, y. Only the x. That's your domain. All right? Cool? Yeah. Now the range is a set of all. If this is x, the other one's going to be what? Yeah, it's going to be y. Y coordinates for the ordered pairs. So if I have a coordinate x, y, -2 comma 8, which one's your range? Yeah, it's 8. All right? Pretty easy? Yeah. So now what's going to happen is that in your graph, in this worksheet that we're doing, you're going to have 3 types of problems. The first type of problem you're going to have is what's called a continuous graph, where there's no breaks. All right? So here you have a graph, and it's like, woo! There's no breaks. All right? It keeps going all, and there's an arrow, which means that it goes to infinity and beyond, right? And then here, there's another one, right? It's a continuous line, a graph, and let's put a dot right here. That means it's going to start right here and move over, pop, 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 all right? Then there's going to be other types of problems, which is going to be a non-continuous graph, which has breaks, which it means it's just coordinates. They're dots. That's it. They're coordinates. So don't trace them. Don't actually connect the dots and see what we get. No, don't do that. Just leave it alone, all right? Just leave it alone and try to identify each coordinate, all right? And then the third type you're going to get are coordinates. Find the domain, find the range, all right? And we already know that the domain is what? Your x. And your range is your y. Alright? Here we go. Doors. Alright, so now, how to remember what represents domain and range? How do you remember? So when I was in high school, someone explained you could use the graph grid. Here you have x, y. So now what I could do is I could write domain, because it's in red. So I'm going to write domain right here on the x. Domain. Right? And then range, and that represents the x. And range, see how there's an A? So I'm going to put R-A-N-G-E. So the range is on the what? On the y. That's one way. Another way is XY. There's a guy that says, hey, I got back with my ex. The other guy says, why? That's a joke. So XY or alphabetically, right? Or, and then domain range, DR. Alphabetical or doctor. Right here, DR, doctor. All right, so there you go. How to remember what represents the domain and what represents the range. All right, so good. So far, so good. All right, so we're going to do the graph another day. We're just going to focus on we're going to focus on the XY and the dots, okay? So let's go ahead and focus on that. Oh, wait. Oh, wow. Boom. Yeah. Oh, come on, everybody. Let's do some math. M-A-T-H. Domain and range. Woo. All right, cool. We'll be back with this music. I love that song. All right. So domain, remember, doctor. So what you can do is you can go ahead and put XY if you want. All right. So that's one strategy. So I'm going to go ahead and put X, Y. All right. The domain, remember, domain. He said doctor. So DR. Mister, can I put it on top? Yeah, DR, doctor. Ooh. So let's go ahead and listen to some music while we're doing that. Here we go. Ready? Doctor. Here we go. Are you a lucky little lady in the doctor. All right, that's it. So there you go. Okay? So now, what is the domain? Remember, here we have this what's called set notation. So from these coordinates, I want the set that's going to be representing the domain. All right? So you got to put the set notation. So remember, the domain is your x, right? So all the x's only. So where do we got x? Right here, right? The doctor, and doctor. So let's go ahead and write them. Ready? Here we go. So the first one is what? Yeah, 5. The next one is -3. The next one is 8. And the next one is 8 again. You don't need to put 8 again. That's it. You're done. All right? Pretty good? All right. Nice. Keep going. All right. Let's talk about range. All right, so now we're going to talk about the range, all right? So now the range is your R. Range, doctor, R. So there's the 9, the 3, the -2, and the 7. So let's go ahead and write them, okay? So 9, don't forget, this is called the set notation. 3, -2, and 7. And you're done. That is it, guys. Pretty good, right? I know, it's easy. Come on. Here we go. All right, so the next one. So now the next one, we're going to go ahead and they're going to give you dots. They're going to give you an XY coordinate, and they're just going to put dots, all right? And then here, they're going to ask you for what's the relation All right, well, the first one is -2. So remember, your relation is your x set of coordinates. So the first one, I could put -2 comma 1. Okay. The second one, I could put -1 comma -1, right? Okay. And so forth. All right. The next one's going to be 2 comma 3. And the last one is going to be, this one's 4 comma 3. 4 comma 3. All right. Your x comma y. X comma y. All right. And now, based out of this, you could do your domain and your what? Yeah. Come on. Here we go. Let's do this. Yeah. 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 Yeah, I love that song. That's cool. All right, so here's your domain. Don't forget your what? Your set notation. So I could use this, all right, and just get all the x, or I could go, okay, here's -2. That's my, all right, next one is -1. And I could do this. So look, I could go -1 comma 1. So -1 comma 1. All right, I could do it right away. This one's -1 comma -1. So -1 comma -1. The next one, 2 comma 3. So 2 comma 3. And the next one is 4 comma 3. Wait, 4, and I'm already using 3, so I could close it with the set notation, and then we're done. And then bam. And then that's it. All right, let's try another one. Here we go. All right. Here we go. Set notation. I'm not going to do the relation. You kind of know what it is. It's -2. Let's put this as -2 as well. -2 comma 2, -2 comma -2.2.5. All right. So here we go. Let's just go ahead and do this real quick. Let's find the domain. So if you want to do it my way and say, okay, x is -2 comma 2. So -2 comma 2. All right. So I'm just doing it right away. Here we go. Do it along with me, okay? I'm going to play the music. Okay, -2 comma 2. That's that one. -2 comma, but I already have -2. 0 comma 1. 2 comma 3. And that's it. Bam. You're done. All right. So go ahead and do the dots on the graph grid and the coordinates. That's it. And we'll do the graphing another day, tomorrow. All right. That's it. Dots on the graph grid and coordinates. All right. Later. Later.